Simon Systems and Allied Services Incorporated. Simon Systems has been built since 2015 with the owner Ninfa Flores. It is located in Simon Building, Gerardo Wano Street, Cambarong, Mandawi City, Cebu. It is a software industry with only 14 employees. Simon Systems and Allied Services Incorporated has been established last August 10, 2015, and was introduced to the market the following year. It offers accounting and HR payroll solutions. It is located at Simon Building, Gerardo Wano Street, Cambarong, Mandawi, Cebu City. The company has been in operation for the last 2 years and is now expanding its operation here in the Philippines as well as in abroad. What you currently see here is the business process for the company. It starts by interviewing the client. The human resource manager accepts the documents for the said project. The project manager holds a meeting for the discussion of schedule. The system analyst interviews the end user for business process. The project manager then confirms the needs of the end user and finalizes the scope of work for the team. The system analyst designs the program understandable by the client. The programmer starts the coding program. It goes back to the system analyst where he sets up the data needed to load into the system. The Q&A tester uses the program to check for problems or bugs in the system. The system analyst installs the program to the end user, and lastly the end user or the client uses the program given by the company. What you see here is the enterprise model of the company. It starts by accepting and evaluating the project, followed by approving and designing the project. Project development then begins. It then collects data. User training follows. Then the project signs off as it finishes. Lastly, it will continue with project maintenance. There are 13 different entities with Employee Master as the main entity for the whole diagram. It starts with the Employee Master having the attribute ID number as its primary key. The ID number is a primary key because it is a unique identifier in determining its user. I will first start off by discussing the deduction master and the deduction transaction. Both have a mandatory one-to-one relationship with each other. This is because the deduction transaction can only have one deduction code at a time, and at the same time, the deduction code can only have one transaction at a time. As for the employee position transaction and the position master, it has the same concept as the deduction transaction and the deduction master. This is because the employee position transaction can only have one position code at a time, because the employee can only belong in one position at a time. And the employee department transaction and the department master entities, it still follows the same concept as the ones that I had stated with it having similar attributes. Payroll transaction, on the other hand, has a mandatory one-to-many relationship with the employee master. This is because the employee can only have one payroll. Next off is the course master. It has a mandatory one to optional many relationship with the employee master. This is because the employee can have many courses at a time. Now, we have the schoolmaster. The schoolmaster and the employee master have a similar relationship with the course master and the employee master, because it is possible that the employee would have been to many schools. When you talk about being an employee, you will always encounter the word income. This is where the income transaction comes in. It has a mandatory one relationship with the income master. This is because in every income transaction, there will only be one income code. Lastly, we have the employee salary transaction. It has a one-to-one relationship with the employee master because each employee has its own specific salary. Here is our relation table in third normal form. For us, the DB schema that we have created is still incomplete because our questions towards the interviewee weren't specific enough for us to gather complete information towards their system. The time allowance that was given to us was more than enough, although that wasn't the problem as to why we weren't able to complete our SIMA. Our lack of information was due to the time schedule of the interviewee. We had a difficult time of asking questions because her time was so limited towards us. She was very cooperative because she understands that we need the information for our database subject. I would highly recommend further research because of the lack of information our DBSEMA has to give. However, by being able to gather bits of information from different companies, it will be possible to create something that is better than what ours has to give.